powered by Engineer Academy. स्वागत है आपका मोस्ट एक्सपेक्टेड NIC क्वेश्चन ऑन ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम फॉर साइंटिस्ट बी एंड टेक्निकल असिस्टेंट. This is the most expected NIC questions, and similar type of questions we also execute for GATE 2020. And you know very well NIC conduct exam for two posts, scientist B and technical assistant, and there is this time there is a very good number of vacancies. 288 vacancies in scientist B and 207 vacancies, 207 vacancy for technical assistant A. So it is a very good number. We are conducting a series. The name of this series is concept through the questions, and this is the most probable concept in operating system for NIC exam. Means in this we are explaining the concept with the help of questions, and Nimbus Learning powered by Engineer Academy also conducting two batches. First one is live batches and another one is video on demand batches, that is called recording batches also. And daily, even the period of lockdown, 6 hours class daily continues running, and in recorded batch you are also getting the all lectures, and you will get the test series, study material in practice side, and online test series also, and all faculty support and administrative support also. So we came to the question number 1 here, and if you really want to join, and if you really want to crack scientist B or technical assistant as per your education qualification, then you can use my coupon code, use my senior faculty code also. The code is NIB, that is for Nimbus short, NIB, NIC, that is the exam name, NIC 128. Again I repeat, NIB NIC 128. When you purchase online, then you will apply this code, you will get the additional more discounted. So you will use this code. This is the question number 1. The degree of multi-programming is controlled by option A short-term scheduler, B medium-term scheduler, C long-term scheduler, and D none of the above. What is the meaning of degree of multi-programming? Degree of multi-programming means number of process present in the main memory, that is called degree of multi-programming. So there are three type of scheduler. First one is short-term scheduler. What is the role of short-term scheduler? Short-term scheduler select the process from the ready queue, and allocate the CPU. One of them means it is responsible for selecting a process from ready queue and allocate the CPU, means scheduling is performed by the short-term scheduler. Next, long-term scheduler. It is also called a job scheduler. It is responsible for creating and bringing the process into the memory, means new to ready is done by the long-term scheduler. So degree of multi-programming is controlled by the long-term scheduler. And medium-term scheduler is responsible for swapping activity, means main memory to secondary or backup memory you can say, or secondary memory to main memory, that is ready to suspended ready and wait to suspended wait state in process state diagram. But in the question he is asking the degree of multi-programming is controlled by which type of scheduler, short-term, long-term, or medium-term. So the answer is long-term scheduler. Option C is the correct answer. Option C is correct answer. And there is a nickname also of short-term scheduler is also called CPU scheduler, long-term scheduler is called job scheduler, and medium-term scheduler is called mid-term scheduler. Clear? So next question number 2. Throughput is the measure of, option A is time taken to execute a process, second number of process complete per time unit, C number of process that are in the ready queue, and D none of them. So we came to the one by one option. Time taken to execute a process, that is called burst time, and total time is called completion time. Listen carefully. Option A is say time taken to execute a process, that is nothing, that is a burst time. And what is the turnaround time? The time from submission of a process to completion of a process. And option B is number of process are complete per time unit, and C number of process that are in the ready queue, that is the nothing, how many number of process is telling in the ready queue at point of time, and D is none of them. So what is the meaning of throughput? Throughput means rate of output, means there is a two part. First one is result and second one is rate of result, that is called throughput. So throughput means rate of output in general language, but in operating system what we are saying throughput? Throughput means number of process are completed in per time unit, that is the meaning of throughput. एक टाइम यूनिट, चाहे वो 1 मिनट हो, 1 दिन हो, 1 घंटा हो, 1 day, 1 month, how many process are complete? So number of process are complete in per time unit, that is called throughput. So option B is the right answer. Clear? Next, in a round robin scheduling, if time quantum is too large, then round robin scheduling can be called, option A is FCFS scheduling, B is SJF scheduling, C is round robin scheduling, and D is priority scheduling. What is the happening in round robin scheduling? we use a one time quantum या time slice. It is a time quantum is a time which is given to each and every process for its execution. If process execute within a time quantum, then it will finish. If it is not executing in time quantum, then again it came again. Getting my point? So round robin scheduling algorithm are used to increase the degree of multi-programming. So in which we use time slice and we are assigning to each process that time slice. So but what is the important role of time quantum? If time quantum is very small, let's suppose time quantum is 1 unit, then what is happening? Each process came into the 1 unit of time. Getting my point? So in that way, context switching will be increased and response time decrease, response will be fast. You know very well कि response time inversely proportional to the response. Means राम एक काम को 5 घंटे में करता है, शाम एक काम को 2 घंटे में करता है. तो राम ने को कितना टाइम लगा 5 आवर्स एंड शाम को कितना टाइम लगा 2 आवर्स. तो किसका रेस्पॉन्स फास्ट है? शाम का. मीन्स you know very well performance is inversely proportional to the execution time. So when the response time is increased, then response will be slow. When response time is decreased, then response will be fast. So in saying in round robin scheduling algorithm, if time quantum is very small, then what is happening? Number of context switch increase and response time decrease and response will be fast response. But it is not asking about the response. But in round robin scheduling, if time quantum is very large, then what will happening? Number of context switch decrease and round robin behave like a FCFS. Let's suppose you have taken the time quantum is 50 unit. Now each process, there are 4 process P1, P2, P3, P4 which require execution time of 10, 15, 11, 20. But you have taken the time quantum of 50 unit. So what will happening? Each process given 50 unit. If process finish before the time quantum, then it will execute and finish. So this algorithm right now behave like a FCFS. So option A is the right answer, FCFS scheduling algorithm, if time quantum is very large. Clear? Question number 4. Consider a system with M CPU processor and N processes. Clear? N CPU processor and N processes, then how many maximum number of process can be present in ready, running and block state? Option A is N, M and M respectively, and N, M and N, M, N and M, M, M and N. So we came to the first process state diagram: new, ready, running, wait and terminate. What is the ready? If a process is in ready state, means process is ready for execution, या process is waiting for assigned to be processor. N number of process can be present in the ready state at any point of time. That is, the N is the length of ready queue. When the process are scheduled into the CPU for execution, for running, then in a running state, process is executing the instruction and only one process in a single processor. In a single processor, only one process present in the running state at any point of time. When the running process requires some input-output event, then process will move from running to wait या block state. And when the IO event is complete, then process will move again. In the wait state, n number of process can present in the wait या block queue. It depends on the length of wait या block queue. So in ready, there are n process can be present in the ready state at any point of time. In running state, in a single processor, one process can present in the running state in a single processor. But in the question, it is given a system having M processor. So at one processor, one process, and M processor, M processes. Clear? M processes can present in the running state, and block N process can be present in the block state at any point of time. So option B is the right answer. N process in ready state, M process in running, because their number of processor is M, and N process in block state. So my dear student, this is the question number 4, and you know very well कि we run the courses from 1st of March 2020 for NIC and NIC Scientist B and Technical Assistant, and there are already 350 plus students which we are taking the class regularly, live classes daily 6 hours, and practice sheet and online test series. And out of 350, most of the students take in the class of live classes and asking the doubt on live session also. And we similarly conduct a due to one economical course for video on demand, yeah, live recorded courses for the office going candidate. So you can choose one of the courses if you really want to crack the scientist or technical assistant exam. You can use my coupon code also, NIB NIC 128. Again I repeat, NIB NIC 128. This is the senior faculty code. Next question we come. A operating system use SRTF scheduling algorithm. Consider the arrival time and execution time for the following process are given. What is the waiting time of process P2? Waiting time of process P2. Option A is 5, B is 15, C is 40 and D is 55. So we came. What is the meaning of SRTF? Shortest remaining time first, in which we execute a process which has the shortest execution time. But you know very well which one is the shortest. P3 is shortest. But we can't execute P3 in the beginning because P3 came at, listen carefully, because P3 came at time 30. So we cannot execute till 30. तो which one we execute? Which one is available? किसको चलाएंगे? जो भी अवेलेबल है. तो अपन सबसे पहले किसको चलाएंगे? P1 को. कब तक चलाएंगे? When the next process comes. जब तक कि next process नहीं आ जाती. तो next process come at time 15. तो 0 to 15 we execute P1. Here you can see. Now how much is remaining? 5 is remaining. We make a ready queue in which we are schedule a process. P1 is 5 and the next process P2 is coming, which have execution time of 25. Then which one is smallest? P1 is 5 and P2 is 25. Which one is smallest? P1. So we execute a P1 from 15 to 30. So what is happening? 15 to 20 P1 finish its all burst time, execution time. Now if there is a 2 point, if there is a no process in the ready queue, then we remain blank, idle, CPU remain idle 20 to 30. But what is happening here? P2 is already in the ready queue, so we execute 10 unit of P2, 20 to 30. So how much is remaining? 15 is remaining. Now at 30, what is happening? P3 is came and execution time is 10 unit. Execution time is 10 unit. Clear? So which one is the smallest? P2 has 15 and P3 is 10. Which one is the smallest? P3. So we pick up P3 and execute till 45. So what is happening? Till 40 P3 finish its execution. Till 40 P3 finish its execution. Now if there is none of the process in the ready queue, then 40 to 45 remain blank. We remain, CPU remain idle. But already P2 is in the ready queue and that is 15. So we execute 40 to 45 P2. 40 to 45 P2. Why 45? Because at 45 P4 will come. Clear? So P4 कब आ रहा है आपका? 45 पे आ रहा है, इसलिए अपन ने 45 तक P2 को चलाया. So P2 कितना रिमेनिंग रह गया? 10. And P4 came at 45 with execution time of 15. Which one is smallest? This 10 and this one is 15. P2 is smallest. So we execute P2 45 to 55. Then we execute P4. How much? 15 to 70. So what is the completion time? There are three type of timing. I am here writing in short form. CT means completion time. Completion time means the time when the process completes its execution in Gantt chart. This is called Gantt chart of SRTF scheduling algorithm. When the P1 complete, you will see when the P1 finished 20. P1 complete at 20, and when the P2 complete at 55. You can see here, and P3 complete at 40. P3 complete at 40 and P4 complete at 70. That is the meaning of completion time. And what is the turnaround time? The turnaround time is the time difference between completion time and arrival time. Means completion time minus arrival time. So this is the completion time is 20 and arrival time is 0. So 20 minus 0. 55 minus 15, that is 40. 40 minus 30, that is 10. 17 minus 45, that is 25. And what is the waiting time? What is the meaning of waiting time? Waiting time means the time spent in the ready queue before the execution. Yeah, mathematically the time difference between turnaround time and burst time. Means when you subtract the turnaround time, burst time from the turnaround time, then you will get the waiting time. Means 20 minus 20, you are getting 0. 40 minus 25, you are getting 15. 10 minus 10, you are getting 0. 25 minus 15, you are getting 10. He is not asking about the average. If it is asking about the average waiting time, then what we have to do? We do this addition of all these. Clear? addition of all these, that is 25 by 4. Are you getting my point? 25 by 4. Or whenever asking about the average turnaround time, then we add this 95 by 4. Clear? But it is asking about the waiting time of P2. What is the waiting time of P2? 50. So option B is correct. My dear student, I want to say only one more thing. Please don't do the mistake. Why? This is the example of GATE question, and ISRO also this type of this question is came. But what is the student doing? You can see 55. Listen carefully. 55, 40 and 15. 3 are in the option. 55, 40 and 15. और देर इज वन मोर डिफरेंट, बट ये भी मेरे को किसी एक स्टेट में किसी एक बच्चे का रिजल्ट आ गया था. कहने का मतलब ये है कि बच्चा क्या करता है एग्ज़ाम में, उसने आंसर निकाला, बट इन दी हड़बड़ी में क्या करता है वो, जल्दीबाजी में क्या करता है, ये देखता है कि यार 55 आ रहा है, यस 40 मिल रहा है, यस 15 मिल रहा है, यस, तो भी क्वेश्चन को अच्छी तरह नहीं पढ़ता है. प्लीज़ इट्स माई हम्बल रिक्वेस्ट टू ऑल ऑफ यू, प्लीज़ रीड द क्वेश्चन केयरफुली व्हाट इज आस्किंग इन द क्वेश्चन, बिकॉज मोस्ट ऑफ द स्टूडेंट व्हाट इज डूइंग कि सर 55 इज द आंसर, बिकॉज उसको 55 दिखा फर्स्ट पॉइंट पे, वो ऑप्शन में मिला, उसने उसको टिक करा. 40 दिखा, यस ऑप्शन में है, टिक करा. बट प्लीज़ रीड द क्वेश्चन. इट इज़ द प्रैक्टिकल एग्जाम्पल कि हाउ यू डू द मिस्टेक, बिकॉज P2 में की बात कर रहे हैं. कंप्लीशन टाइम ऑफ P2 इज 55, turn around is 40 and waiting is 15, but all 3 option are given and there is a one more option, but you believe कि ये भी ऑप्शन किसी एक स्टूडेंट ने पता नहीं कैसे लाया, बट वो लाए थे. सो इन दिस ऑप्शन बी इज द करेक्ट आंसर. वेटिंग टाइम ऑफ P2 इज 15. 15 is the answer. Now there is a next question, question number 6. Consider 3 CPU intensive process. CPU intensive process means there is a no IO which require 10, 20 and 30 unit execution time and arrive at time 0, 2 and 6 respectively. And how many context switching are needed if operating system implement shortest remaining time first? That is nothing, previous same one, SJF primitive. That is also called shortest remaining time first या shortest job remaining first. There are these various name, SRPT, SRTF, SJRF also. Yes, shortest job first preemptive. That is nothing, it's a preemptive version of shortest job first scheduling algorithm. And it is mentioned, do not count the context switch at time 0 and at the end. At time 0 and at the end. Option A is 1, B is 2, C is 3 and D is 4. So my dear student, first we execute which one? P1. We execute till 2. So 0 to 2 we execute P1. So how much is remaining? 2 is execute, 8 is remaining, we make in the ready queue, and P2 come at time 2 with execution time is 20. Which one is smallest? 8 and 20. P1 is smallest, so we execute P1 till the next come. So we execute till 6, then till 6 how many execute? 6 is execute and 4 unit is remaining. Here you can see 4 unit is remaining, and P3 which came at 6 execution time is 30. You can see here execution time is 30. Then what we have to do, which one is minimum? P1 is minimum, so we execute P1 completely, then P2 and 230, then P3 30 to 60. What is the number of context switch? Before we explain, what is the meaning of context switching? Context switching means saving the context of one process and load the context of another process. That is called context switching. That is called context switching. Here you can see the number of context switching is 4. This one, because इससे पहले भी कोई प्रोसेस रही होगी and इसके बाद में भी कोई प्रोसेस आएगी. But total number of context switching is 4. But in the question it is mentioned, do not count the context switch at time 0 and at the end. So you will not count the context switch, this one and this one also. So total number of context switching is 2. So there are option 1, 2, 3 and 4. So option B is the right answer. The number of context switching is 2 in this question. Question number 7. Consider the following. There is a not 4 process. This is 6 process. With this there are corresponding arrival time and bus time. There are 6 process. It is wrong. 6 process with arrival time is this one, and P1 has a arrival time of 8 and bus time is 1. P2 has arrival time 3, means P2 came at time 3 and bus time is 2. P3 came at time 7 and bus time is 4, and P4 arrival time is 10 and bus time is 3. P5 arrival time is 2 and bus time is 1. P6 arrival time is 4 and bus time is 1. पहले मैंने क्या किया था, 4 ही प्रोसेस ली थी, बट मैंने इस क्वेश्चन को थोड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग बनाने के लिए बाद में 2 मोर प्रोसेस ऐड की है, तो दैट्स वाई देयर इज ए 6 प्रोसेस, इट विल बी 6 प्रोसेस. एंड अप्लाइंग द FCF शेड्यूलिंग एल्गोरिथम, फर्स्ट कम फर्स्ट सर्व. एंड व्हाट इज आस्किंग, ही इज नॉट आस्किंग अबाउट द एवरेज टर्न अराउंड टाइम, एवरेज वेटिंग टाइम, हालांकि अपन कैलकुलेट करेंगे इस क्वेश्चन में वो भी, बट इज आस्किंग अबाउट कैलकुलेट व्हाट परसेंटेज ऑफ टाइम CPU remain idle. Means in this, when we apply this FCF scheduling algorithm and we execute all 6 process, then how many percentage of time CPU remain idle? Option is 0%, means CPU not remain idle, CPU utilization is 100%, B is 10%, C is 20% and D is 80%. So what is the meaning of FCFS? First come first serve, means the process which came first are scheduled first, or came first means when the process comes it denoted by arrival time. Are you getting my point? Here you can see there is a randomly arrival time 8, 3, 7, 10, 2, 4. So we can't execute P1 first. अपन P1 को नहीं चलाएंगे. क्यों नहीं चलाएंगे? Because P1 का अराइवल टाइम क्या है, 8 है, इसलिए ही नहीं चला देंगे कि वो P1 है. We in FCFS what is the criteria? Arrival time. In SJF what is the criteria? Burst time. But the main condition is the process will be in ready state. वो प्रोसेस मेरी कहाँ होनी चाहिए, रेडी स्टेट में आ चुकी होनी चाहिए, सिस्टम में आ चुकी होनी चाहिए. तो अभी अपन P1 को इसलिए नहीं चला सकते बिकॉज P1 केम एट टाइम 8. So we execute which one is available. So you can see till 2 there is a no process in the system. So we remain idle 0 to 2. You can see here. And any algorithm depend on 2 factors. First one is what is the criteria and another one is what is the mode. In FCFS criteria is arrival time, the process which have the minimum arrival time and which came arrival time is very early or scheduled. And second one is it is a non-preemptive. What is the meaning of preemptive and non-preemptive? In non-preemptive you cannot stop in between. Like if a process P1 required 50 amount of time, 50 unit of time, so you can't stop before 50. At 49 you can't stop, not before 50 you cannot stop. And what is the preemptive? Can stop in between. Before 50 you can stop at anywhere. It depends on the criteria. If you are using shortage of first or priority or LRTF, it depends on the priority and scheduling algorithm. So this is non-preemptive scheduling algorithm, means we can't stop in between. If a process P1 required n amount of time, then it will execute till n. You cannot stop before the n amount of time. So here you can see arrival time is this one. So which one is the lowest arrival? P5. So we execute P5. P5 came at time 2. So we make a idle from 0 to 2. CPU remain idle. P5 came at time 2. And what is the execution time? 1. Burst time means execution time. Because it is a non-preemptive. 2 to 3. And which one is next? P2 came at time 3. And 2 unit of time. Because it is non-preemptive, so we execute completely. We can't stop at 4 because P6 came at 4, but we can't stop. Why? I already told you this is non-preemptive. So we execute 2 unit of time, that is 3 to 5. Then which one is came? P6 and 1 unit of time, then 5 to 6. Next which process will come? P3 at time 7. Clear? So we make a idle from 6 to 7. We make a idle from 6 to 7. Most of the students do this question in wrong way. वो 6 से ही चला देते हैं. मैं आपको एक एग्जांपल बताता हूँ. लेट्स सपोज अभी आपने कोर्स ज्वाइन नहीं करा है, तो मैं आपको लाइव क्लास में पढ़ा सकता हूँ क्या? आर यू गेटिंग माय पॉइंट? मैं भी, या आप कॉलेज नहीं गए हो तो आप, या इंस्टीट्यूट नहीं गए हो तो क्या कॉलेज में आपको वो टीचर पढ़ा सकता है क्या? आप क्लास में अभी तक नहीं गए हो तो सबसे पहले आना भी तो चाहिए. कहने का मतलब है P3 आ ही 7 बजे रहा है. लेट्स सपोज वी कैन कंसिडर एज ए टाइम. P3 केम एट टाइम 7, तो यू कांट एग्जीक्यूट बिफोर 7. So 6 to 7 it remain idle. So P3 came at time 7, so we execute completely 7 to 11, and after that P1 come 11 to 12, then P4 came 12 to 15. Getting my point? now we calculate the completion time. What is the completion time of P1? You can see P1 when complete 12, P1 completed time 12, P2 had complete time 5, P3 completed time 11, P4 completed time 15, P5 completed time 3, and P6 completed time 6. What is the turnaround time? Completion minus arrival. 12 minus 8 4, 5 minus 3 2, 11 minus 7 4, 15 minus 10 5, 3 minus 2 1, and 6 minus 4 2. And what is that waiting time? Turnaround time minus burst time. 4 minus 1 3, 2 minus 2 0, 4 minus 4 0, 5 minus 3 2, and 1 minus 1 0, and 2 minus 1 1. My dear student, there are various type you calculate the waiting time, like P3 P2 come at time 3 and you execute at time 3, so you can say waiting time is 0, means P2 will not wait. Clear? So but I follow this approach and believe the student, when there is a preemptive like round robin, so there is a very you can do the mistake in calculating the waiting time, which जिस तरीके से आप कैलकुलेट करते आ रहे हैं उस तरीके से आप करोगे तो उसमें मिस्टेक हो सकती है. देयर इज ए चांसेस बिकॉज रैंडमली द प्रोसेस इज प्रीएम्प्टिव, सो कमिंग एन नंबर ऑफ टाइम. अगर एक भी अपन ने टाइम को छोड़ दिया तो आपका वेटिंग टाइम गलत आ सकता है. बट इसमें अगर कोई प्रोसेस P1 है, लेट सपोज एन नंबर ऑफ टाइम आ रही है, तो डोंट वरी अबाउट दैट. इफ प्रीएम्प्टिव तो वेरी इजी रहता है इस तरीके से कैलकुलेट करना है. सो व्हाट इज द एवरेज वेटिंग? 6/6. Why 6/6? The sum of all these 6 and the number of process is 6. So average waiting is 6/6. And what is the average turnaround time? That is 10, 15, 16, 18/3. That is 3. But in the question I am here explaining average waiting and average turnaround, but it is not asking the average waiting and average turnaround. Average waiting and average turnaround. He is asking the percentage of CPU idle. So how much CPU is idle? 2 unit here and 1 unit is here. So 3 upon total schedule length is 15. 3/15 into 100%. So what is 1/5? That is nothing, 20%. So 20% CPU remain idle. So option B is option C is the right answer. 20% is CPU idle. But if in the question is not asking about the CPU idle, he is asking about the CPU utilization. How much percentage of time CPU is utilized. So what is the CPU utilization? That is nothing. That is idle is 20%. So 100 minus 20%. So CPU utilization is 80%. You can calculate in another way. How much CPU is utilized? 12. 12/15 into 100%. Then you can calculate the 80%. This is also given. So don't do the mistake. Please read the question carefully. He is asking about the CPU remain idle. If it is asking about the utilization, the answer D is the answer. Are you getting my point? But if it is asking about when, the D is the answer, when asking about the CPU utilization. But in this he is asking about the CPU idleness. So that is 20%. Option C is the right answer. Next, consider the following process using round robin CPU scheduling algorithm with time slice at time quantum 2 unit. Here time quantum is 2 unit. There are 6 process P1, P2, P3, P4, P5 with arrival time 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 and burst time 4, 5, 2, 1, 6, 3 respectively. What is the average waiting time using round robin scheduling algorithm? Option A is 3.3, B is 5.4, C is 7.3 and D is 10.8. So first there are two type of round robin scheduling algorithm. When the all process came at time 0, then we execute P1, P2, P3, P4, P5, P6. Most of the students do this question is also wrong way. Why? Because in your semester exam you will not take an arrival time in round robin. If you will take an that is very good. But most of the student क्या करते हैं, only प्रोसेस होती है और बस टाइम होता है, तो कैसे चलाते हैं? P1, P2, P3, P4, P5, P6, P1, P2, P3, P4, P5, P6, जो फिनिश होती जाएगी उसको अपन आउट करते जाते हैं. वाई? बिकॉज एट दैट टाइम ऑल प्रोसेस अराइव एट टाइम 0 या nearly at the same time. But here it is given when the process P1 came arrive, when the process P2 came arrive, P3 came arrive, P4 came arrive, P5 came arrive and P6 came arrive. So we can't execute in that way. So how we execute? सबसे पहले कौन चलेगा? P1. तो इसमें टाइम क्वांटम कितना आपका? 2 यूनिट. तो व्हाट इज द रोल ऑफ टाइम क्वांटम? अगर प्रोसेस का बस टाइम क्वांटम या उससे कम है तो अपन उसके बस टाइम जितना चलाएंगे, और अगर उसका बस टाइम क्वांटम से ज़्यादा है तो अपन उसको टाइम क्वांटम जितना चलाएंगे और बाकी अपन दोबारा उसको रेडी क्यू में लगा देंगे. So this is very good example, please listen carefully, it's my personal suggestion. First one is P1, what is the bus time? 4, so we execute 2 unit, so 0 to 2 we execute P1. Now in till 2 what is the process came? P2 and P3 also came. Now P1 is remaining, yes, 2 unit is P1 remaining, so we again make in queue. This queue is very important, I can explain in non technical way, listen carefully. Let's suppose आपको मिड टर्म्स की कॉपी दिखाई जा रही है या किसी भी यूनिट टेस्ट की कॉपी दिखाई जा रही है, देयर आर 10 क्वेश्चंस इन देयर एग्जाम, 10 क्वेश्चंस है। टीचर ने बोला किसी को भी किसी भी क्वेश्चन में डाउट है, या 10 यू कैन अज्यूम 20 क्वेश्चन, टीचर ने बोला, रेस्पेक्टिव टीचर ने, कि किसी को भी किसी भी क्वेश्चन में डाउट है तो यू कैन आस्क एट ए टाइम, मैं 2 क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करूँगा या 2 क्वेश्चन एंटरटेन करूँगा या करूँगी। अगर आपको 2 से ज़्यादा डाउट है तो यू केम इन नेक्स्ट राउंड। लेट्स सपोज यू आर द फर्स्ट स्टूडेंट, यू हैव डाउट 4 यूनिट, you have 4 doubt, so what is happening, 2 doubt is solved by the teacher and remaining 2 you will came in the next round. So what is let's suppose there are 100 student in the class, तो क्या आप 100 के पीछे लगेंगे रो में, या अभी तक जितने स्टूडेंट आ गए उनके पीछे लगेंगे? आर यू गेटिंग माय पॉइंट? या यू कैन टेक ए वन मोर ऑल्सो नॉन टेक्निकल एग्जाम्पल। जब भी कभी भी आप किसी मंदिर में जा रहे हो तो थोड़ा सा प्रसाद दिया जाता है, लेट्स सपोज आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट द सिद्धि विनायक मंदिर, तो देयर इज ए 2 यूनिट ऑफ पैकेट विल बी गिवन, so if you want more packet then you again came in the queue. Are you getting my point? Again more packet then you came again in the queue. Clear? Again came in the queue. तो कब क्यू, कितने क्यू के पीछे लगोगे? जितने नंबर ऑफ पीपल्स है उतने के पीछे लगोगे, या एकदम ही पीछे खड़े हो जाएंगे? तो जितने नंबर ऑफ पीपल्स है उन्हीं के पीछे आप लगोगे। मेन 2 से इसका 2 यूनिट एग्जीक्यूट हो जाएगा, तो 2 तक कौन कौन आ गए हैं? P2 एंड P3। तो इसका काम अभी ख़त्म नहीं हुआ है, इसको ज़्यादा प्रसाद चाहिए, तो इट विल मेक अगेन इन क्यू आफ्टर P3। आर यू गेटिंग माई पॉइंट? डोंट गो ऑन दिस वन, डोंट कन्फ्यूज, प्लीज़ तरीके से समझें आप इसको। सबसे पहले P1 को चलाए 0 से 2 तक, बिकॉज इट्स एग्जीक्यूशन टाइम इज़ 4, तो 2 तक में क्या क्या आ जाएंगे? P2 और P3, इसका टाइम अभी बाकी है, तो अपन ने क्या किया, इसको दोबारा लाइन में लगा दिया। अब कौन चलेगा? P2। डोंट सी दिस वन ऑल्सो, वी फोकस ऑन रेडी क्यू। So P2 unit is also 5, so time quantum is 2, so we execute only 2 unit, 2 to 4. What is happening when जब ये जा रहा है चेक कराने, एग्जीक्यूट होने, तो 3 पे कौन आ गया है? P4, 3 पे कौन आ गया है? P4, एंड 4 पे कौन आ गया है? P5। आर यू गेटिंग माई पॉइंट? एंड इट्स टाइम इज रिमेनिंग, 3 इज रिमेनिंग, सो अगेन मेक इन क्यू, यू कैन सी हियर। आर यू गेटिंग माई पॉइंट? पहले P1 आया, जब P1 एग्जीक्यूट होने गया तो P2 P3 आ गए, तो P1 का टाइम बचा हुआ था तो दोबारा लाइन में लगा दिया। अब कौन एग्जीक्यूट होगा? P2 2 यूनिट होगा, तो 3 और 4 तक कौन कौन आ गए? P4 एंड P5। सो इसका टाइम बाकी है P2 का, दोबारा लाइन में लगा दिया। अब P3, so P3 एग्जीक्यूशन टाइम इज 2, so we execute 2 unit, 4 to 6, so at 6 P6 come, here you can see P6 come, and P3 required 2 unit, so P3 is finished, so we cross here. This is for sake of knowledge या sake of कंसेप्ट। क्रॉस क्यों कर रहा हूँ? जो प्रोसेस फिनिश होती जा रही है उसको मैं यहाँ क्रॉस कर देता हूँ, उससे क्या होगा, आपकी गलती होने की प्रोबेबिलिटी बहुत कम हो जाएगी, बिकॉज आपको पता रहेगा ये प्रोसेस फिनिश हो गई, इसको मेरे को दोबारा नहीं चलाना। दिस इज ए सिंबल विच वी आर यूजिंग नाउ। Which one is execute? P1. P1 how much is remaining? 4 out of 4, 2 is executed, 2 is remaining, so we execute P1 6 to 8, and P1 is also complete. Then P4 is how much? 1, so we execute P4 8 to 9. Clear? Now P5 is 6 unit, so we execute 2 unit and make in Q. You can see here after P6 make in Q. Then P2 is 3 unit is remaining, we execute 2, 11 to 13 again make in Q. Then P6 3 unit, so 13 to 15 and again make in Q. Now P5 how much is remaining? P5 4 is remaining P5, because out of 6 we execute 2, so 4 is remaining, we execute 2 unit because time quantum is 2 unit, so 15 to 17 then again make in Q. Now P2 how much is remaining? You can see 2 here execute, 2 here execute, 1 unit is remaining, so we execute P2 17 to 18. Now P6 how much is remaining? 1 unit is remaining, 18 to 19, and P5 19 to 21, because 2 unit is remaining out of 6. Are you getting my point? So there is a complete Gantt chart. Now you can calculate the completion time. यहाँ आपको वेटिंग टाइम निकालने में बड़ा फायदा होगा। कैसे, मैं बताता हूँ। कंप्लीशन टाइम ऑफ P1 इज 8 and P2 when complete 18, you can see here, and P3 complete at 6, P4 complete at 9, P5 complete at 21 and P6 complete at 19. What is the turnaround time? Completion time minus arrival time. So what is the turnaround time? 8 minus 0 8, 18 minus 1 17, 6 minus 2 4, 9 minus 3 6, 21 minus 4 17, 19 minus 6 13. What is the waiting time? Turnaround time minus burst time. 8 minus 4 4, 17 minus 5 12, 4 minus 2 2, 6 minus 1 5, 17 minus 6 11, 13 minus 3 10. Are you getting my point? Now अगर आप उस तरीके से वेटिंग टाइम निकालते हैं जिस तरीके से आप निकालते आ रहे हैं, तो अगर मैं P2 की बात करूं, तो पहले 2 प्लस कैसे कैलकुलेट करोगे, 19 माइनस 4 प्लस 17 माइनस 13. सो अगर आप एक टाइम भी भूल गए तो यू विल गेट द रॉन्ग वेटिंग टाइम. सो बट इन दिस टाइप ऑफ way, in this way you don't consider in this way, you just calculate the completion time when the process complete, then turnaround time, that is nothing, completion time minus arrival time, then calculate the waiting time, turnaround minus burst time. Here you can also calculate the response time. What is the response time? First response minus arrival time. What is first response minus arrival time? What is the first response? P1 can give the response at time 0 and arrival time is 0, 0 minus 0. P2 2 minus 1. P3 4 minus 2, that is 2. P4 8. Are you getting the point? P4 8 minus 3 5. P5 9 minus 4 5, and P6 will start the response at 13. So 13 minus 6, that is 7. So average response time is what is 7 plus 5 12, 17 8 19 20, 20 by 6, that is nothing, 3.3. But in the question not asking about the response time, but here I am explaining about the response time also, because in round robin sometime examiner ask about the response time also, but in this asking about the average waiting time. So what is the total waiting time? 44. So average is 44 by 6, that is 7.3. So here you can see what is the option. C is the right answer, because C is 7.3. So 7.3 is the answer. Now next question, which scheduling algorithm suffer from the convoy effect? Option A FCFS, first come first serve. B shortage of first non-preemptive. C priority non-preemptive, and D priority preemptive. C priority preemptive and D is priority non-preemptive. What is the meaning of convoy effect? Convoy effect means if first process have large execution time, then it will have huge effect on average waiting time of the processes. That is the meaning of convoy effect. So FCFS suffer from the convoy effect, means in convoy effect, in FCFS, if first process has the large burst time, then it will have the huge effect, impact on average waiting time of the process. This effect is called as convoy effect, and FCFS suffer from the convoy effect. We will take one example also to explain the convoy effect. Let's suppose there are three processes, P1, P2 and P3. Execution time is 22 and 2. Arrival time is 0, 1, 2. So first we execute P1 0 to 20, then P2 20 to 22, then P3, there is a P3 22 to 24. Clear? So what is the completion time of P1? 20, P2 22, P3 24. This is erased. P3 is 24. So what is the turnaround time? 20 minus 0, 20, 22 minus 1, 21, 24 minus 2, 22. What is the waiting time? 20 minus 20, 0, 21 minus 2, 19, 22 minus 2, 20. So 39. So what is the average waiting time? 39 by 3. So average waiting time is 13. When we do this process in reverse order, means we'll take a 3 process, not reverse, we'll take another 3 process, P0, P1, P2, P3, and arrival time is same, 0, 1, 2, but burst time is different, 2, 2 and 20. So first we execute P1 0 to 2, then P2 2 to 4, then P3 4 to 24. So what we are getting, completion time of P1 is 2, P2 is 4, P3 is 24. Turnaround, completion minus arrival, 2 minus 0, 4 minus 1, that is 3, 24 minus 2, 22. What is the waiting time? 2 minus 2, 0, because waiting time is nothing, completion turnaround time minus burst time. 2 minus 2, that is 0, and 3 minus 2, that is 1, 22 minus 20, that is 2. So average is 3, average waiting is 3 by 3. We are getting average waiting time is 1. Here you can see the difference. In this, if first process have the large execution time like 20, so you will get the average waiting time is 13. But if first process if the process which have large execution time are placed in the last, then you will get the average waiting time is 1. So there is a very large effect on average waiting time. Means this is called convoy effect. Means, and FCFS is suffer from the convoy effect. In FCFS, if first process has large execution time, that you can see here, it is a large execution time, then it will give the huge effect on average waiting of the processes. This effect will go the known as convoy effect, and FCFS is suffer from the convoy effect. Although FCFS is known as fair algorithm, the process which came first are scheduled first, and it is non-preemptive also, but it suffer from the convoy effect. Now question number 10, consider the set of process with arrival time, and this is the arrival time and CPU burst and priority. Here 0 is the highest priority. None of the process have its IO burst time, means they all process only CPU burst. What is the average turnaround time of all process using priority preemptive? We apply priority preemptive scheduling algorithm, and the options A is 5.5, B is 7.6, C is 9.6, and D is 11.6. 0 is the highest priority. So my dear student, what we do in priority scheduling, we execute a process on behalf of priority. The process which has the highest priority are scheduled first. Now priority are two types. First one is higher the number means higher the priority. Second one is lower the number means lower the priority. Are you getting my point? Let's say take one example. Let's suppose मैं कह रहा हूँ आपका क्लास आपके पास डोंट टेक अदरवाइज वी विल टेक ए नॉन टेक्निकल एग्जांपल, ताकि आपको आसानी से जल्दी से समझ में आए. आपको मैं कहता हूँ अगर आपको 1 लाख मिले तो ज़्यादा बढ़िया है, 10 लाख रुपीज़ मिले तो ज़्यादा बढ़िया है. नाम में प्राइस में 10 lakhs यू आर गेटिंग 10 इज़ वेरी गुड बेस्ट. नाउ आई एम सेइंग अगर आपकी क्लास में फर्स्ट रैंक आए तो ज़्यादा बढ़िया है या 10th रैंक आए तो ज़्यादा बढ़िया, तो यू से सर फर्स्ट. यानी आपने 2 सेकंड नहीं लगाई प्रायोरिटी चेंज करने में. तो कहने का मतलब है हायर द नंबर मीन्स हायर द प्रायोरिटी मीन्स मनी वाली बात हो रही है. लोअर द नंबर मीन्स हायर द प्रायोरिटी मीन्स रैंक वाली बात हो रही है. मीन्स व्हेन इट्स से 4 इज़ द हाईएस्ट प्रायोरिटी मीन्स जैसे जैसे नंबर बढ़ता जाएगा प्रायोरिटी बढ़ती जाएगी. इफ इट से 0 इज़ द हाईएस्ट प्रायोरिटी, जैसे जैसे नंबर डाउन होता जाएगा वैसे वैसे प्रायोरिटी बढ़ती जाएगी. मीन्स नंबर 0 है तो हाईएस्ट प्रायोरिटी, उससे कम प्रायोरिटी P4 की, उससे कम प्रायोरिटी P3 की, उससे कम P5 की और सबसे कम P1 की. बट हियर यू कैन सी P2 इज़ द हाईएस्ट प्रायोरिटी, बट व्हाट वी हैव टू डू, P1 की सबसे लीस्ट प्रायोरिटी है, but we execute P1 first. Listen carefully. We know very well कि P1 has the least priority among all the 5 process, but we execute P1 first. Why we execute the P1 first? Because P1 came first. P1 came first. यानी आज आपकी क्लास का कोई टॉपर है, वो आया ही नहीं है तो उसे पढ़ाएंगे कैसे? Are you getting my point? तो जब तक वो प्रोसेस सिस्टम में नहीं आ जाती, मीन्स अराइवल टाइम उसका अराइव नहीं हो जाती वो प्रोसेस, आप उसको एग्जीक्यूट नहीं करा सकते. तो फर्स्ट वी एग्जीक्यूट P1. कब तक कराएंगे? जब तक कि नेक्स्ट नहीं आ जाता, बिकॉज इट इज़ ए प्रीएम्प्टिव. क्वेश्चन में मेंशन है प्रायोरिटी प्रीएम्प्टिव शेड्यूलिंग एल्गोरिथम. नॉन प्रीएम्प्टिव एंड प्रीएम्प्टिव, देयर आर 2 टाइप प्रायोरिटी ऑल्सो. सो दिस इज प्रायोरिटी प्रीएम्प्टिव शेड्यूलिंग एल्गोरिथम. सो वी एग्जीक्यूट P1 till the next process comes. Next is 4. No my dear student, you check the arrival time. This is randomly 0, 4, 2, 6, 3. And similar type of question came in the most of the competition like ISRO, GATE and NIC also. So if you go to this series, you will solve any of the question of operating system last previous year paper. It's my suggestion to you. Please watch, and when after watching you can solve any question. So we execute a P1 first. कब तक? जब तक कि next नहीं आ जाता. Next is not 4, next is 2. So we execute a P1 0 to 2. 0 to 2. How much time is P1 was time 9. So how much is remaining? 7 is remaining. We make a ready queue, या we can make a box separately for a clear the confusion. Because अधिकतर बच्चे क्या करते हैं, कई बार बस टाइम की जगह प्रायोरिटी चला जाते हैं या चेक नहीं कर पाते प्रायोरिटी कितनी है. तो सब चीज़ करो, कभी भी मिस्टेक मत करो. इट्स माय सजेशन. जितनी भी मिस्टेक करनी है यहाँ कर लीजिए, बिकॉज वहाँ मिस्टेक करोगे NIC के एग्ज़ाम में देयर इज ए नेगेटिव मार्किंग, देन इट विल very disappointing for you. So please लिसन केयरफुली, सो मिस्टेक नहीं करनी है अपन को। 0 से 2 तक गया P2 P1, सो उसके बाद P3 आ गया है, उसका एग्जीक्यूशन टाइम है 6, इसका कितना रिमेनिंग है 7, तो वी राइट हियर एग्जीक्यूशन टाइम ऑल्सो, P1 का साइन 7 एंड P3 है 6 एंड P1 प्रायोरिटी इज 4 एंड P3 प्रायोरिटी इज 2. Which one is the highest among these two? I know P2 is the highest among all the, but when we compare in between two, then which one is highest? P3 is highest. So we execute a P3 till the next process comes. So execute a P3 2 to 3, 2 to 3 we execute P3. Are you getting my point? So how much execute? 1 is execute, 5 is remaining, and at 3 P5, that execution time is 4 and priority is 3 is came. Now which one is having the higher priority in all three? P3. So we execute P3 till the next come. So P3 came till execute till 4. 4 V unit 1 unit also. So at 4 P2 will come and P2 has the execution time of 2 and having the priority 0. Or you know very well P2 has the highest priority. So we execute P2 completely. So here you can see we execute P2 4 to 6. P2 4 to 6 completely. Now at 6 P4 came, which have execution time of 4 and priority is 1, because we execute P2. Now which one is the second highest? P4. So we execute P4 completely. Why we execute completely? Because it is a sir, you say that this is a preemptive. Yes, I am saying this is a preemptive, but when the P4 is the second highest priority, then we execute P4 now. That's why. So P4 is the second highest priority, we execute P4 completely, 6 to 10, P2 complete, P4 complete. Now which one is the highest? P3. So P3 how much is remaining? 4. So 10 to 14 we execute P3. Now P5 4, 14 to 18, then P1 is 7, 18 to 25. सो माय डियर स्टूडेंट, ये बॉक्स बनाने से आपको क्या फ़ायदा हो जाएगा कि एक तो दोनों की सबकी प्रायोरिटी यहाँ चेक हो जाएगी, और एक आप कितना एग्जीक्यूशन टाइम चला चुके हो, कितना बचा हुआ है वो भी आप लिख सकते हो। हालांकि कुछ बच्चे ये नहीं बनाते, डायरेक्ट करते हैं, बट आप उस टाइम का सिनेरियो समझिए जब आप एग्ज़ाम दे रहे होंगे, आपके ऊपर साइकोलॉजिकल प्रेशर रहेगा कि, और थोड़ी सी भी मिस्टेक वहाँ एक्सेप्टेबल नहीं होगी, बिकॉज देयर विल बी नेगेटिव मार्किंग, दिस इज़ ए कॉम्पिटिशन। इफ़ यू आर गेटिंग +2 मार्क्स, लेट्स सपोज देयर इज ए 2 मार्क्स, तो कहाँ तो आप +2 अटैम्प्ट कर रहे थे, कहाँ आपका वो +2 तो नहीं आया, और जितने आ रहे थे उसमें से माइनस हो गए। तो प्लीज़ अंडरस्टैंड द इम्पोर्टेंस। सो ये बनाने का ये उद्देश्य था कि आपकी मिस्टेक ना हो। हालांकि अपन यहाँ भी ऐसे कर सकते हैं, बट आपको यहाँ ज़्यादा अगर गलती कर बैठे ड्यू टू प्रेशर, एग्ज़ाम प्रेशर, तो दिक्कत हो जाएगी। इस तरीके से आपकी कभी भी नेवर एवर यू कैन नॉट डू द मिस्टेक। सो ये अपन ने एग्जीक्यूट किया। व्हाट इज द कंप्लीशन टाइम ऑफ P1 25, P2 6, P3 14, P4 10, P5 18, and turn around completion minus arrival 25 minus 0, 6 minus 4 2, 14 minus 2 12, 10 minus 6 4, 18 minus 3 15. So we are getting this turnaround time. What is the average turnaround time? What is the sum? 27, 29, 39, 43, 48 and 58. 58 by 5, that is 11.6. If we want to calculate the waiting time, then that is nothing, turnaround time minus burst time. 25 minus 9 16, 2 minus 2 0, 12 minus 6 6, 4 minus 4 0, 15 minus 11, 50 minus 4 11, and sum of all these divided by the number of process, that is 5. But in the question asking about the average turnaround time, so that is 11.6. 11.6 is the average turnaround time. So option D is the right answer. So my dear student, hope so ki you are enjoying this series and you are getting all the concept which I am explaining here, concept through the questions, most in this continuation of most expected questions for scientist B and technical assistant. So really, if you want to crack the paper of scientist B or a technical assistant as per your education qualification, you can join Nimbus Learning powered by Engineer Academy. There is a 2 type of course. Again I am saying live course and recorded course or video on demand. So you will get the practice sheet, online test series, and complete faculty support and complete administrative support in each and every way. Getting my point? So you can join, like करें, सब्सक्राइब करें अपने फ्रेंड्स के साथ भी। और if you really want to join, then when you are purchasing online, you can use my senior faculty code, that is NIB. Again I repeat, NIB NIC 128. All number are in capital. NIB Nimbus का शॉर्ट NIB, NIC is exam, NIB, NIC 1 to 8. You can apply this code, you will get the additional discount. So like करें, सब्सक्राइब करें your channel Nimbus Learning powered by Engineer Academy, and thank you.
If you really like the video, please hit the like button, share the video, subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon for the latest updates. Thank you.